the worst has happened. Your EB1 petition has been denied. What are you going to do? What went wrong? What could have led to this horrible outcome? Now, if you're anything like me, you might be thinking, "Meri hi galti rahi hogi." There was something wrong with me. Now, that could be one of the reasons, but there could also be two other reasons that could have affected this outcome. So I'm going to give you those three reasons, and I want you to understand what is the rationale behind each and every one of those factors. So the first one, obviously, which you're also thinking about is maybe my profile was truly not good enough. I did not meet the EB1 standards, and this could be true. If it happened to me, thank God it did not. But if it would have happened to me, I would have taken it that way. And how can you not? How can I not? I'm a part and parcel of the Indian education system, of the Indian household, where if anything bad happens, if anything wrong happens, we default to thinking, "Meri hi galti hogi." Like there's something wrong with me. But I changed this mindset the day I became a professor in the American education system. Now, the American education system is very different than the Indian education system. In India, I was at least never taught to question authority, that whatever my teacher said went. So in a test, if I wrote all the answers in the way that the teacher wanted, but they gave me a 9.5 out of 10, I was happy. But when I became a professor, I had to be answerable to every point I gave, but also every point I did not give. So I had students question me that, "Hey, like the question paper was not right, or can you explain this deduction?" So I was very much answerable for the score that I was giving. Just because students have failed an exam, more than defaulting to there was something wrong with the students, sometimes you have to question the exam. So while it may so be the case that maybe you were not prepared, or maybe you could have built a better profile, understand that that also may not be true. But if indeed your profile did not match the EB1 standards, obviously the only possible solution is to make it stronger. So that is one of the reasons why your EB1 petition could have been denied, your profile. The second reason why your EB1 petition could have been denied could be your lawyer. Now, this is also something that I have learned while talking to lawyers. That your lawyers, as one of the immigration attorneys, she says that lawyers are carriers of your story. You tell them the hard facts, they package it into a story, they argue the law to prove that your achievements match the EB1 requirements and standards, and so on and so forth. Now, understand that in an EB1 petition, it depends how your lawyer packaged your story. There are instances where lawyers have taken one achievement and positioned it as under one other criteria where the criteria did not match. That could have been a possibility. But these become very evident when you get an RFE as well. The other thing, which is not common knowledge, but once I tell you this now, then you'll realize, oh wow, like that is in fact true. Now, EB1 petitions are very word heavy. Not only do you have to be good at law, you also have to be really good at writing and explaining. So when you are checking the meritocracy or the competence of a lawyer, you also have to question how this lawyer is writing your story. They also have to be prolific writers. This is the same exact reason why some legal teams will have immigration legal writers or paralegals writing up your story. So, how your story was packaged, in what way it was written, could have also contributed to has contributed to the outcome of your EB1 decision. Right? So it's not always how shiny your achievements are, it's how they were packaged and explained and argued against the law. So that could be another reason. The third reason could be the USCIS officer themselves. This also goes back to the example that I was giving, that when I used to give tests to my students, if I see that the students have consistently done bad, then there's something wrong with the way I was assessing them, that the test was wrong. This could be the case with the USCIS officer as well. And there have been instances, and there's ongoing commentary from lawyers on LinkedIn saying how USCIS officers deviate from what their own law says. Now, one of the complaints that I have heard is EB1 should be adjudicated on the legal standard of preponderance of evidence. Now, that is a very smart sounding couple of words, at least when I heard it. I'm like, what is preponderance of evidence? Do tell. Preponderance of evidence essentially means that there is not 100%, you don't have to prove that somebody is extraordinary objectively. You have to prove that there is 51% likelihood, more chances of this happening than not that this person is extraordinary. So the bar of extraordinariness in EB1 is not high, right? It's 51% likelihood. That's the basis on which you need to adjudicate. But USCIS officers are progressively, it seems like they're progressively increasing that bar. That not 51% likelihood, tell me on like a higher likelihood that this person is extraordinary. So they are impressing standards that should not have been implemented in the first place. So that's one way you understand that, hey, there was nothing wrong with my profile. It's just the standard on which it was assessed was wrong. Or there could be instances where USCIS officers can be what I've heard lawyers say, they are arbitrary and capricious. So again, I'm not a lawyer, so I will not be able to tell you what exactly the legal term means. But from from a language perspective, what it looks like is what nothing is standardized. It doesn't seem like things are standardized. What one USCIS officer is more likely to say yes to, another USCIS officer may say no to on the same exact profile. So that's where they are not being strict, they're just being arbitrary. So, as much as you want to internalize this seeming failure that has happened in your life, where your EB1 has been rejected and where your knee jerk reaction is to deduce that there was something wrong with your profile and so you have to make it stronger, pause and analyze the situation and see, to what factor should you attribute this outcome to? Is it definitely you? Could it be explained by the way your profile was positioned and your petition was written? Or could an argument be made that the USCIS officer just dealt you a dirty hand? I hope this explanation has given you some calm and peace to deal with this obviously difficult situation that you're going through. But I hope that you persist. I hope that you refile, and I hope that it gets approved and you get that green card. Keep going.